All right, welcome to the Fluff. Hey, Jade, man, you, damn, you were fast. I think, were you in like a minute and 30 when the stream came live? Jesus, the speed, the absolute speed. Let me just last second stuff, and I think we're ready for the reading. Yeah. Twitch was open already. Okay, that makes sense. That adds up. That adds up. Well, thank you so much for being part of this once again. And I know you said you enjoy my stream, so that this is going to probably be a more common thing to happen. Which, listen, this is exactly what I needed. I need somebody who just always hops into my streams. Is something that will push me to do better, be stronger. And wait, let me just see what. Okay. Redeemed Afro. Oh fuck. Let me see if I have stuff here. Shit. I don't have that many pens. I'm pretty sure I can. Wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure I can find some stuff. Because usually I would impale my Afro with a lot of pens, which I don't have. Now that I think about it, I have them in Switzerland. I have batteries here. Let me just gather some other stuff around the corner. Alright, got some pens. So, I'm not sure if these batteries will stick, but 1 battery, 2 battery. There we go. Usually I would have a lot more than this, but this I'll do it for now. And I gotta leave them on for at least, I would say I'll leave them in for like 5 minutes. There we go. I'll admit your hair structure is impressive, thank you. I cut my afro once a year, so it goes from like short to big. The reason why I cut it is because after a while the brushing just gets really tedious. But okay, the afro is now impaled, as you can see. Wait, actually, you know what? This will probably help. Let me zoom in for you. Yeah, there you go. You can see now. Different things are sticking out. So, let's start reading the SCP, shall we? 1190 Universal Simulator. Well, now I can only imagine the matrix of this. Hold on, let me double check something real quick. 1, 2, 3, check. I knew it. There seems to be an issue. Lower again. Yeah, no problem. I can do that. There. I put it to 45. I mean, I also reduced. You know what? Let me go back to how my audio used to be. My my voice audio because I reduced it a little bit because it looked like I was going to the red. So maybe that's why the music sounded louder. What did I want to do? Oh yeah, something's off with the settings here. So it doesn't work. Why? Thank you. Just otherwise, I have a hard time focusing on what you're saying. No problem. No problem. Let me just. What is going on? Why won't this work? Okay. This works. And then this. What is happening? Hello? Okay, so that works. Voice meter input. That should be okay. So for some reason my you know yesterday how I did the whole beeping sounds and all that and voice changing stuff? For some reason that's not working. And I have no idea what it is, what the cause is. I'll check one last thing, and if it doesn't work then we'll just ignore it for the day and just go without it. Yeah, no, it should work. Yeah, just doesn't want to. It doesn't want to do it. That's a shame, but we just gotta ignore that and go on without it then. Okay. And now, let me do this. Universal Simulator. Now we officially started. I think it sounds very much like a Matrix type idea, but like on a universal level, of course. And 5 minutes almost passed, and I'm just gonna keep those things in until I finish reading this one. So I think it has to do something with that. Okay, there's a couple of transcripts, a couple of excerpts with experiments. Okay, safe. Where is for next time? Exactly, where is for next time? SCP-1190 is to be contained in a secure, temperature-controlled observation room. The observation room must provide accommodation for long-term living, to include a cot for sleeping, a restroom, and a food preparation area. Video surveillance equipment is to be installed outside the observation windows to record the device output as well as any input provided by -1. All recordings from the surveillance equipment are to be permanently archived for the day. Another safe one. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of saves in the last 20 SCPs. A nurse or nurse assistant must be available to care for -1. Nurse duties include delivery of food, bathing, feeding, application of medicine, administration of intravenous feeding systems, and other tasks necessary for the care of a potentially severely disabled person. Okay, that's not what I expected from a universal simulator. I thought it was going to be more like a reality-bending thing, not a disabled person. Personnel are not to interact directly with SCP-1190 except for D-Class personnel cleared to be used as test subjects. Any D-Class subjects to be used for testing SCP-1190 are to be cleared with site administration for a stay of execution during the course of the experiment. Procedure update following experiment -1. The floor of the observation room must have a certain drain for eliminating waste. Procedure update following experiment 2. SCP-1190 is to be powered at all times with backup batteries and a diesel generator in case of power failure. Okay. SCP-1190 is a 1973 Hewlett-Packard 3000 computer system. Okay, so it is something mechanical, but then why the nurse? Installed on the device is a program which performs a physics simulation beginning with the known origins of the universe. Observation of the simulation suggests that it is capable of simulating physical phenomena beyond our current understanding. While running the program, SCP-1190 exhibits inexplicably powerful processing capability, an anomaly which does not persist while the device performs other tasks. Attempts to decompile the program or to move it to a different device have failed. The program appears to be corrupt to all observation and actions beyond running it on SCP-1190. Aside from its anomalous performance characteristics and the inexplicably accurate logic used by the simulation, the only other notable physics characteristics of SCP-1190 is that it is unusually well maintained for its age. Otherwise, it appears to be a normal example of a computer of its make and model. When the program is executed on SCP-1190, the screen displays "Press Enter to begin." I have a question for you afterwards, Jade, because now I'm reconsidering some stuff. Any individual who activates the program stored on SCP-1190 will become fascinated with the simulation. The individual will want to intervene in the development of the virtual universe to cause it to proceed according to the individual's personal ideas. The individual is designated -1. Over time, -1 will become more obsessed with the simulation, increasingly neglecting personal needs in favor of managing the virtual universe. Becoming a video game addict. I gotta explore the whole universe. Documentation of known commands can be obtained with consent from at least one personnel having clearance level to 1190 or greater. However, the documentation is believed to be far from complete. Each new subject tweets new commands over time, and while video of the subject's input and the observable results on the simulation have been archived, the exact effects of many commands haven't yet become clear. SCP-1190 became to the attention of the Foundation via an asset embedded in the security department of, I'm going to try again, doesn't work, of blank laboratories. On blank, a janitor at blank laboratories reported to security that an unpleasant smell was coming from a disused office. In the office, the responding security officer found a researcher who thought to have been missing for several weeks. D-C, hereby designated -1-A, operating SCP-1190 and surrounded by days of her own refuse and waste. Ew. -1-A had at some point brought several days worth of food and water to the office, but only a small amount of water remained. -1-A displayed symptoms of stage 3 starvation, flaking skin, thinning hair, and insufficient strength to sit up properly. However, -1-A was still operating SCP-1190 while muttering inaudibly. The security officer attempted to administer aid, but -1-A was uncooperative until the officer disconnected the power to SCP-1190. -1-A became violent in an attempt to attack the officer, but because of the aforementioned symptoms was easily subdued. -1-A expired from systemic infection secondary to starvation while being rushed to the hospital. Transcript of video taken by security officer. Be right back. I'm gonna get a Wi-Fi hotspot because internet's acting up again. Okay, no problem. I mean, now I know how many people are in your house, so maybe that's like a lot of people taking the Wi-Fi away from you right now. Officer. D-blank, is that you? It stinks in here. Are you okay? Holy expletive redacted. D-blank. Your hair. Your skin. What happened to you? SecOps, we need medical on floor blank. Office blank immediately. What the hell are you sitting in? Stay with me, girl. Officer attempts to remove -1-A from the terminal, but she resists. Hey, what's going on here? You need help. Let me help you. Officer waves a hand in front of -1-A and gets no response. The officer then unplugs SCP-1190 from the wall. You've got to focus. Stay with me. You killed him. Murderer. You killed them all. -1-A attempts to lunge at the officer but lacks the strength to stay upright and collapses. -1-A claws at the officer's legs. What are you doing? You gotta hold still. Ouch. Hey. I'm here to help you. The officer restrains -1-A with a pair of handcuffs. SecOps, you better get a stretcher up here. Something with restraints. I just found D-blank, and she's delirious and in bad shape. Billions. You killed billions. They needed me. I gave them paradise, and you killed them. Monster. SCP-1190 was taken to containment by the Foundation on blank. Ooh. That is... even though it's safe, the effect it has on a person is definitely very scary. That's a lot of tests. And I feel like this is gonna be a long one, eh? Oh, well, not really. Okay, never mind. That's good. Why won't you work for me? D-class personnel. D11593 is a 53-year-old Caucasian male. I'm back. No worries. I was just saying that even though this is a safe SCP, the effect it has on a person can be very worrying, you know? It basically makes you think that like you're responsible for billions of creatures or people, and so you just stay with it until you fucking die out of starvation. And yeah, it's one of those ones where like, yeah, it's safe because the reason why it's safe is because you have to activate it, right? You have to actually use it for it to be considered dangerous. But like the effect it has on a single person is very worrisome. So once again, D-class personnel D11593 is a 53-year-old Caucasian male. Subject background: a former network administrator. D11593 is a sociopath convicted on 6 counts of torture and murder in the first degree. D11593, hereafter referred to as -1-B, was selected for this experiment due to high scores on computer aptitude tests. You got me, boss. I know what to do. I've learned the ways of the computer when I was like 5. -1-B was locked in the observation room for SB1190. Subject was instructed to begin the simulation and to keep a diary during the experiment. Subject was given no further instructions. Day 2, -1-B spent 2 hours tending to the simulation. Okay, so far he's holding back. He's not like stuck with it, except from subject diary. I'm gonna keep the voice now. Well, they're making me run some kind of simulation, it seems. So far as I can see, are a bunch of white pixels moving away from each other. I can make them move a little faster or a little slower, but that's about it. Day 7, -1-B spends 8 hours tending to a simulation. Okay, he's getting into it. Except from the subject diaries. The stars, they have planets. I figured out how to start a chain reaction in the star that makes it a supernova and take out a bunch of planets with it. Maybe if I fast forward to enough, I can find one with some playthings. Day 12, -1-B spent 14 hours tending to the simulation. The rest of the day was spent sleeping and eating with no recreation. Oh boy. Except from subject diary. I found another planet with some life starting. I shouldn't have broken the last planet with life. It took me too long to find another one. This time I think I'll be more subtle and see how much a life form can take before it just can't live anymore. He's playing God. Day 20. -1-B spent 18 hours tending to a simulation. That means he has like 6 hours of sleep. Subject ate at the terminal, leaving only to sleep and use the restroom. Except from subject diary. I figured out how to keep the creatures I created alive. Even when most of them just want to die, the young ones cry and shake from the pain. But as they get older, they seem to get used to it. I have to figure out a way to change up the pain as they get older so it will never end. Yeah, he's a sadist. Damn. He's like, yeah, destruction. Yeah. Alright. Day 42. -1-B spent 20 hours tending to the simulation. Subject ate at a terminal and only left the simulation to use the restroom. -1-B fell asleep for 4 hours at the desk. Upon waking up, subject displayed some anxiety about having drifted off. When instructed to write into the journal, -1-B became agitated and had to be threatened with an electric prod before complying. You fucking write in that shit! The last of the creatures from Planet 7 died out today while I was asleep. I should have been there so it wouldn't have been so quick. Now they're making me spend more time away from the universe to write this entry. Who knows what else I'll miss? I suppose I was getting bored anyway. You can only scream so much. I think this time I'll make the life on the planet 12 and 13 evolve so they are perfect for killing each other. Then open up a wormhole between the planets and see who wins. So with whoever the woman was that was in her own shit, she seems to have a more caretaker vibe. She was like, oh, I need to be there for them. I need to take care of them. and he's like more of like, I wanted to be dead. I want them. I don't know who this guy is, but I want him and tortillas dead. So that's a very obscure reference, but yeah. Day 84. This guy has been on it. -1-B spent 24 hours tending to the simulation. Subject no longer eats independently and has been placed on intravenous feeding. The nurse has to give the subject sponge baths, and a drain has been installed in the floor to waste so waste can be flushed. In addition, the nurse has been instructed to regularly manipulate the subject's extremities to mitigate complications from long-term immobility. When instructed to write in the journal, subject remains unresponsive, even if shocked with an electric prod. This makes sense why you need the nurse now. It's not because of the computer, it's because of whoever uses the computer, because they are too lazy, or at least too fixated on the simulation to actually go take a bath themselves. I feel bad for the nurse. I guess at the end, like, a lot of nurses who have to deal with, like, the elderly or handicapped people have to deal with this to begin with, but I feel bad for somebody who clearly knows, like, oh, the only thing that stops this guy from cleaning himself or eating is a game. Like, I would be insulted as a nurse if that was the guy I have to take care of. Like, he's fully capable of doing it, but like he doesn't because he's too busy playing a game. But at the same time, we now know that because of how fixated they are, they lose a lot of muscle and control over the body. I mean, the props kind of know what they sign up for. Yeah. I mean, the nurse here is fully aware I assume they're fully aware what the foundation's all about. All the foundation just, used amnestics and was like, this guy in there is like is a crazy addict. There's no way to get him back. So you have to take care of him. Transcripts of surveillance video. Okay, so this time it's a surveillance video because he doesn't want to write. No, it can't be over this soon. I know I'll bring them back and then fight it out again. Wow, this guy is so addicted to making them kill each other. Day 105. -1-B suffered from a pulmonary embolism resulting from a deep vein thrombosis. Subject began to have trouble breathing and started coughing. The research assistant on duty called for the nurse, who was off duty, and took nearly 30 minutes to respond. By the time the nurse arrived, the subject's symptoms had transitioned to bloody coughing collapse before losing consciousness. -1-B rendered the simulation unusable by bringing about the destruction of the virtual universe. -1-B was transferred to medical where an anticoagulant was administered, but -1-B expired from sudden cardiac death. Transcript of surveillance video. -1-B begins exhibiting trouble breathing, including wheezing and coughing. Hey, what's going on with our guy? Get a nurse to check him out. Approximately 30 minutes elapses before -1-B begins coughing up blood. What's happening? -1-B's posture becomes limp, doing what instead of collapse. The nurse arrives and is cleared to enter the observation room. I can't leave them alone. If I go, they're coming with me. If I'll die, I'll take them down with me. We've got a well, pronunciation, please.
Is as tachypnea.
Tachypnea. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. Tachypnea. Oh my god, that is a weird word to say. Hemoptysis and cyanosis. We need to get him to medical immediately. -1-B loses consciousness. No, they come from. Nurse blank was implemented for responding to a priority 3-page in excess of 10 minutes. Video of this incident is under consideration for staff training purposes. Now we have excerpts from experiment log 2. Now we have D-Class 14899 is a 37-year-old Hispanic female, a former professional artist. D14899 was convicted on 2 counts of murder after one of her art pieces was vandalized. Wow, she straight up killed somebody because of her art. Damn. D14899, hereafter referred to as -1. I'm just going to call them -Cs because it's all -1s. Was selected for this experiment due to an artistic background. -C was locked in the observation room for SCP-1190, subject was instructed to begin the simulation to keep a diary during the experiment. C was given no further instructions. C spent 1 hour attending to the simulation. Okay, so compared to B, not as fascinated just yet, except from subject diary. This place is like so many other prisons, and yet unlike them. I heard sounds, or maybe I didn't, in the other areas. I had strange feelings, ideas came into my mind, inspirations. I want to paint them, but I can't. All I have is this diary and some computer showing dots. Okay, so she thinks... Oh, so she must be freshly new from prison to the Foundation, because she's saying this place is like any other prison. So she's just freshly arrived to the Foundation, one of the headquarters, one of the sites, and was like, oh, this doesn't seem any way different than all the other prisons, except that I'm now in here with a computer for some reason. Day 4-C spent 2 hours tending to the simulation and 6 hours sketching the diary. Subject's request for assorted art supplies denied. Okay. Except from subject diary. I tried to get the ideas out, but I can't only do so much with a pencil. The only other thing in here to look at is that computer, and all I can do is move around in space. If only there was some colors to look at. Day 9-C spent 12 hours tending to the simulation. That is a big leap from this 2 hours to 12 hours. That's 10 extra hours. The rest of the day was spent writing extensive diary entries, eating and sleeping. This is amazing. It's the world's biggest, most perfect canvas. But it's more than that. I can shape galaxies into flowers and those into gardens. I can paint the horizon of a beautiful purple moon with stars that change colors as the planet rotates. It's sculpting and painting and music and dance all at once. So it looks like this universal simulator can be whatever you want it to be. Day 21-C spent 20 hours. Okay, hold on. I want to see how long did it take for -P to take 20? 42 days for him to get to the 20 hours mark. With -C, it's 21 days. That is half the amount of time, and she's already like full on into it. Subject eats meals at the terminal and leaves only to use the restroom to sleep for 2 hours and to make the entries in the diaries. 2 hours of sleep only. B at least slept for 4 hours, and that even then he thinks that the 4 hours of sleep is not warranted. I created a perfect woman, tall, beautiful, unusual, and yet familiar. She seems motherly and yet distant. Her children are unformed pieces of clay with endless possibility. She recognizes their potential and is proud, but still cries when I transformed them. It is beautiful. Some people can sculpt what they feel, and only I can literally sculpt using raw emotion. Day 30-C spent 23 hours tending to the simulation. Subject eats meals at the terminal and leaves only to use the restroom to make entries in the diary. So she is not doing any sleeping no more. Except from subject diary, art can mean so much more when you're not bound by rules. I can make a line of colors that didn't exist until I invented them. That goes from one end of the universe to the other, and will move or fall down. I reshape the structure of carbon to make shapes I never could have thought of in my wildest dreams. Day 31. A breach of containment by SCP-blank caused an extended power interruption which powered down SCP-1190. Oh god. After a momentary delay, -C became violent, attempting to destroy objects in the room other than SCP-1190. Security had to enter the observation room and to contain the outburst. -C is currently restrained in medical class. Amnestics were administered, but the subject continues to exhibit symptoms similar to sustained withdrawals, including depression, anxiety, fatigue, and nausea. Subject indicates that she undergoes persistent cravings for an unidentifiable fix. Oh, that must be the weirdest feeling. Like you feel like you want something, but you have no idea what the hell it is. And you know that because you don't get it, you have these withdrawals. Like, it's not like with anybody else who has withdrawals that they didn't know what they want. Like, it's either a drug or alcohol or a game or anything like that. Cigarettes, anything like that can create addiction, right? But then, and if they go for withdrawals, they're like, oh yeah, it's because I don't have any of this right now. I need this because then my body calms down. But this person has no idea why she feels this way. She just knows she's missing something. It's like drugs, exactly, yeah. Now experiment 3, the last one. The D-class personnel D17091 is a 67-year-old Caucasian male with a moderate obsessive-compulsive disorder manifesting in a compulsion to place objects into certain patterns. D17091 was convicted on 1 count of arson, resulting in the deaths of 9. D17019, hereafter referred to as -D, was selected for this experiment to the unique concept of organization. So it's nice to see that this one actually shows you, Jade, who the D-class are, because I feel like if we read this SCP first yesterday, like if this was your first SCP ever to read or hear, I think you would have gotten the idea much faster that the D-class are criminals. Because like yesterday, like I did explain it, but then like I think maybe that was one of the times where the internet was just like, yeah, no, you don't get to hear any of this. Day 1-D was locked in the observation room for SCP-1190. Subject was instructed to begin the simulation and to keep a diary during the experiment. -D was given no further instructions. Day 2, -D spent 1 hour attending to the simulation. Nothing here. Nothing is where it should be. The cot is on the north wall with the head facing east. And then there's this computer. The dots are all wrong in every way. I want to get in there and fix them so badly. Let me fix it. I can fix it. Day 3-D has suffered from a sudden embolic stroke. Because the stroke occurred while the nurse was on duty, the subject was able to be transferred immediately to medical. Reports indicate that the subject has been stabilized and that the partial recovery is likely. However, some damage to the ventral stratum is likely to be permanent, which may affect the subject's long-term behavior. Day 8-D released from medical and subject to a full psych evaluation. Reports indicate that the subject no longer feels compulsion to reorganize objects. What so wait, did he just work on that for like 1 day and then suddenly he got a stroke and now he's like, I don't have the feeling of fixing anything anymore. Day 9-D placed back in the observation room for SCP-1190. Subject spent no time tending to the simulation. Things which used to seem so significant don't anymore. Nothing really motivates me like it used to. Day 10-D spent no time attending to the simulation. Day 17-D spent no time attending to the simulation. The subject appears to be immune to the compulsion to interact with SCP-1190. Subject's day of execution will be revoked and subject will be remanded to the General Foundation custody. Experiment log ... With -D's brain damaged, it appears that SCP-1190 no longer is able to exert a compulsive effect on the subject. While some might call this experiment a failure, it presents a heretofore unavailable opportunity to let the simulation run its course without intervention. The results of this pure simulation could be very interesting. Well, there we go. A bunch of people get to play God, and some of them go a bit cuckoo for crazy puffs. Alright, first things first. Let me get my Afro impalement thing out of my head. There we go. Come on. Wasn't my fave so far. Yeah, of course, it's 1 out of many. Who knows, maybe like you find one that's better or one that's not as or even less favorite for you. There we go. And the batteries. You know, 1 pane would have been enough. No, the whole point is that it's multiple objects. That's the whole point of the Afro impalement. Would not be fun if it's just one, you just done. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you something. So thanks to thanks to Sylvie, a VTuber on Twitch. She told me how I can have music, and how I can have it on for the stream, but then it will go away for the VOD. So when you watch the stream again afterwards, the music is non-existent. So I did that, and I do that for Wednesday streams because like usually the game we play, I can play that type of music on it because it's just very repetitive stuff. Thursday I don't, Friday I don't, because usually those games have like just very temporary games, you know, like games that can be finished after a while. So I don't play music there. And then I thought to myself, oh, I want it for the SCP stream because I used to have the sound of waves or forest sounds or fireplace sounds or just royalty-free jazz playing in the background. And at first I was like, that's nice. But then I wanted to play music because some of the music can be upbeat and that can help me like keep myself energetic for when I read, because a lot of the time the waves and music noise can be very sleep-inducing. But I want to ask you, Jade, would you prefer if I go back to having like a very like just the wave sounds or the non-lyrical royalty-free jazz, so that it's easier for you to hear me talk and focus on my talking? And if that's the case, I will also have to turn off the voice meter app program for this. And then I only use music for streams where there are games where, like I said, games are very repetitive, like Played Up, or maybe even like stuff like ranked Overwatch or ranked Smite, where music doesn't bother the focus of the reading as much. In all honesty, it's fine now. It's only hard when the music is too loud. Okay. A friend of mine just told me, because he's watching, I didn't know you could hide that many pens in your hair. I think the record of pens in my afro was in high school with 37. Of course, my afro is now medium size. It's not the full size, so it doesn't. Yeah, 37. I remember like we hit 37 pens in my hair once. Okay. Let me get my, that's great. Let me get my stopwatch, and here we go. Criminal past. Now, we have a bunch of D class here, right? We have a bunch of D class. They all have, it still feels like I have a pen in my hair for some reason. They all have a criminal past, right? What if their past gets transferred to somebody else, or two D classes with two different criminal backgrounds, their past gets switched? That's one idea. The other idea was that an innocent person gains a criminal past. Somebody who has done nothing wrong suddenly is known for being a murderer. Something like that. Man, we're getting a lot of safe ones. SCP-1191 is to be stored in an opaque type IV safe class containment locker at Sector 28. Neither it nor its locker is to be handled safe again in any way except as necessary for testing. If the object must be moved, the entire locker is to be relocated by a team of Class D personnel, all of whom must be given every reason to believe that the locker is empty. The locker is to be dehumidified and protected from insect and fungal infestation, and the object should be given regular visual-only checks for deterioration. Flips table. Now, put that table back down. Who knows, maybe this is a very dangerous safe. SCP-1191 is a rotten willow tree branch approximately 97 centimeter long by 1.5 centimeter in diameter. With a prominent kink Oh, that's a kink. Sorry. 31 centimeters from the base. Any intentional manipulation of SCP-1191 results in the activation of its anomalous properties, which are not fully categorized at this time. Maybe it's kink of giving me kisses. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Game Grumps has tainted my mind. Spider punch, spider kick, spider kiss. Manipulation includes any physical contact made either directly or indirectly via handheld or remotely operated tools, with the intent of examining, moving, damaging, or otherwise directly affecting SCP-1191. Contact made at one remove, an example by ordering another person to handle SCP-1191, affects the person in direct contact, but not the person who gave the order. Contact with a container holding SCP-1191 counts as manipulation if and only if the contactor is aware of SCP-1191's presence inside the container. All contact with SCP-1191 has been carried out by D-Class personnel with histories of violent crime. Here we go. Persons handling the object report immediate panic and disorientation. They begin quickly and without external provocation to protest their innocence. Further investigation reveals them to bear memories of an alternate timeline in which they did not commit one particular act of violence. In most cases, the act will lead to eventual relegation to Class D. Okay, so they think, legitimately they believe that they did nothing wrong. That they never done anything horrible. Even though, as we know, the D-Class all did horrible shit. Affected personnel retain these memories indefinitely, although they gradually reacquire memories of a timeline over a period of 40 hours after contact. That's kind of sad. What makes you say that? I imagine it's more infuriating for like the victim's family. Imagine you talk to the person and they're like, you killed my mother, my father, you disfigured my sister, you burned down my house. And that person you're talking to, who did it, like there is proof that he did it, legitimately looks at you confused and is like, I didn't do any of that. Why would you say that? And then you must be there just looking at him like, are you kidding me? Like, are you messing with me right now? And they're like, I don't understand, because when someone actually believes they're innocent and then later you realize that your whole memory was a lie. That is a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. Like, but I feel, I wonder if it's like that. Like, if it's like, oh, me thinking I was innocent was a lie, and I believed it, or if because your original memories are back. If it's gonna be more like, that was weird that I thought I was innocent for a moment. Would be enough for someone to eat themselves. Yeah, definitely. Like, I wonder if it's gonna be like, if they are gonna be saddened, like, oh, so I am a murderer. Or if they're gonna be like, why did I think I was not a murderer? I know what I've done. I know why I'm in here. You know what I mean? Like, I think maybe it depends on the person. During the first 40 hours post-exposure, subjects frequently claim SCP-1191 retroactively inserted a violent episode into their personal history. In support of their claims, these subjects have demonstrated implanted knowledge beyond their clearance, both of technical details and interpersonal information. Use of D-Class personnel in certain contact event appears contrary to Foundation procedure. Yeah, I think it depends too. Yeah, right? I think it really depends on the person. I think some of them will be like, oh man, for a short moment, the horrible thing I've done did not exist in my life, and I believed it. And another half will be like, that was an odd experience that I thought for a moment I did not do that horrible thing. It is presently unclear whether SCP-1191 is causing spurious knowledge generation or actually altering timelines. A test capable of distinguishing between these possibilities has not yet been designed. Designated? No, designed. Addendum, recovery report. And it still doesn't work, does it? Why? I want my beeps back. Why you no work? Agent beep, yep. Oh yeah, by the way, the reason why the certain things are blanked out or why it says redacted is because it's supposed to be a experiment log, no, not experiment log. It's supposed to be an entry log, right? But the foundation have rival companies that could do horrible stuff with the names or certain information. That's why you sometimes see like the dates being blurred out or Asian beep and stuff like that. And whenever it says redacted or data expunged, it's just to be like, oh yeah, this, yeah, I was aware already. Okay, never mind then. Asian Blank was dispatched to Blank, Canada to investigate an unusually high density of violent crime. Accompanied by former convict D. Blank, the pair discovered an abandoned vehicle in a wood lot located at 4 blank degree north, 1 blank degree west. While investigating the vehicle, D. Blank picked up SCP-1191. Asian Blank reports immediate distress followed by abrupt and unprompted denial of a previous crime, in support of which D. Blank demonstrated detailed knowledge of Foundation retrieval agent procedure. Agent Blank returned without permitting D. Blank to release SCP-1191 at any point, employing coercion where applicable. No further items resembling SCP-1191 have been recovered from this recovery site. D. Blank was later administered a Class R amnestic and the designated Personnel -1. Addendum excerpts from Experiment Log 1191. Test 3. Blank, blank, blank. And I'm not going to say that for any of the other dates because they're all blanks. Personnel -12. -12 is instructed to remove a 1 centimeter transverse section of SCP-1191 using a circular saw. Upon picking up SCP-1191 to move it onto the circular saw, -12 reported confusion followed by intense mental distress and unprompted verbal denial of 3 previous murders. SCP-1191 cast aside slightly tripped upon impact with floor. Oh, that's actually kind of bad, isn't it, if it's slightly chipped? Because I imagine that any part of this SCP can cause the effect. But I guess if somebody without a criminal past picks it up, I guess it's not that bad. You're just like, huh, piece of wood. Test 4. Personnel D-44, D-67, and D-108. The 3 Class D personnel were instructed to touch SCP-1191 simultaneously. All 3 personnel experienced convulsion, denying previous episodes. Interestingly, the episodes denied were not in any case those that led to the individual's initial incarceration. Test 6. Personnel D-13. D-13 was directed to move SCP-1191 from chamber corner with 0.5 meter iron tongs. Upon grasping SCP-1191 with tongs, D-13 reacted violently, insisting upon alternate history induced by the object. Under extensive questioning, D-13 demonstrated knowledge consistent with security clearance level 1/1191, insisting that he was research assistant and law-abiding citizen. Imagine hearing from a criminal that like yeah, I work here. Guys, I'm part of your team. What the hell, man? Why would you make me do these experiments? I'm one of the Foundation members. And every other Foundation scientist and doctor is like, no, no, you're not. They can try, right? You can always try. Test 10. Personnel D-53. D-53 was seated in Control Booth 75, given access to a standard Foundation remote-controlled exploratory drone, and instructed to transfer SCP-1191 to a new containment locker with better preservative facilities. At the moment of contact between the drone's manipulators and SCP-1191, D-53 abruptly became confused and distressed, verbally denying involvement in the preschool bombing for which he was incarcerated. Further questioning was unsuccessful, revealing only that the subject new experiences considered distress at the memory of child casualties. Dr. Blank was reprimanded for permitting Class D personnel contact with exploratory drones, which are equipped with easily recognizable sampling tools, and for allowing direct personnel contact between Class D personnel and Foundation operators. Yeah, that's a bit dumb. Yeah, you there, person that apparently blew up a school, how about you use this drone to do a test with me, huh? Oh yeah, that's gonna go real well. Nothing wrong is going to happen there. Alright, time, and here we go. Bam. Timmy! Timmy! Well, I have nothing. Was Timmy or Jimmy the one in South Park that always said his own name? Because both Timmy and Jimmy were crippled, right? Like they're like handicapped. And one of them was always going, Timmy! Or Jimmy! I forgot which one it was. I don't know. Well. Alex! I know you're there! Was it Timmy or Jimmy? You hope someone calls child. There are a couple children SCPs in this universe. There's the star-eyed child. That literally her eyes are black holes with stars in them. I forgot if she's the one that if whatever she thinks becomes reality, or if she was just a whole different one. I think there's two. I think the star-eyed child just has what looks like a galaxy for eyes, and then there's one child that whatever she believes becomes real. I mean, black-eyed children are pretty well known in lore. Yes. I have no. Ooh, this one is highly rated. Hey, look at this! It's our first Euclid of the day. Finally, you can now unflip table. SCP-1192 is contained in a dedicated aviary and is to be provided a diet of fruits supplemented with protein and vitamin additives. Give me some good creepiness. Hey, that doesn't mean it's creepy. It just means it's that people like it and that it's hard to contain it sometimes. We don't know. Maybe it's very wholesome. Vitamin additives, as it refuses to consume seeds and insects that are part of the normal diet for its species. SCP-1192 is to be provided with several pencils and pages of paper to allow it to communicate. In the case that SCP-1192 becomes belligerent, mild sedatives may be introduced into its food and water supply under close veterinary supervision. Okay, description. So from the sounds of it, sounds more like a bird than a child, but who knows? Because of the aviary, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. SCP-1192 is a juvenile male gang cockatoo, Calocephalon fimbriatium, a species normally native to Southeast Australia, approximately 33.5 centimeters in length. SCP-1192 appears to be sapient. That's a bird indeed, yes. Sapient and exhibits intelligence and common knowledge consistent with that of a human child between the ages of 6 and 8. Aww. Okay, so this bird is... Wait, it can talk, right? No, it cannot talk, but it's sapient. So it's aware of things. No, wait, sentient is being aware. Sapient is versus sentient. Sentient intelligence is developed through emotions and sensation, with sapient intelligence is developed through knowledge and wisdom. Yeah. That's what it was. SCP-1192 is unusually disheveled, as it appears to be unable or unwilling to preen itself, and has difficulty flying despite being essentially healthy and uninjured. But because it's like it thinks like a human child, right? So it has no idea how that thing works. Close examination has shown a slight healed over contusion on the back of SCP-1192's head, but no internal injury or damage was ever found. SCP-1192 was discovered and brought into containment by Agent blank blank on blank blank blank, who at the time was embedded as an undercover agent in the Newark Police Department in New Jersey. It is believed at this time that SCP-1192 began following Agent Blank and trying to attract his attention because of the perception of an authority figure in police uniform. Oh, because she's a child. Because he's a child. Oh no. It just saw a police guy and was like, oh, please help. Agent Blank became suspicious due to SCP-1192's unusual species and erratic behavior and sent a request for assistance. A Foundation's containment team was dispatched and was able to detain SCP-1192 and bring it to Site Blank for examination. That must be scary, though. Because from the Foundation perspective, it's an SCP, or it could be a potential SCP, right? So they're like, oh, let's just take it and see what it does. But from this child's perspective, it's just like some adults came and just took it and just brought it to like a whole new facility. Experiment log 1. Shortly after initial containment experimentation was performed, in which SCP-192 was introduced to a multitude of objects in a controlled environment in order to produce its abilities. Upon being introduced to the testing chamber, SCP-192 immediately gravitated to a pencil and paper and began to attempt to write crude sentences. At this point, Dr. Blank was brought in an attempt to communicate with SCP-192. Okay, it's just like, what? Right? Who are you? I am Dr. Blank. I'm here to speak with you. Who are you? Right. Timmy, followed by, where am I? You're at a medical center, Timmy. A hospital. Do you know what happened to you? No. Right. No. Then I want to go home. Where do you live, Timmy? After several minutes and with some difficulty, SCP-1192 managed to write down an address for a residential home in Blank, Montana. Undercover agents sent to the specified residence determined that the location is inhabited by Mr. and Mrs. Blank, as well as their son Timothy Blank, age 7. Agents assigned to monitor the family have noted nothing out of the ordinary with the family thus far. Oh. I'm trying to like, I have two theories in my head. That Timmy, the bird, the soul has been swapped with Timmy, the child. So now they're like, so now Timothy is now a bird in a human body, and Timmy, the child, is now a child inside a bird's body, or Timothy, the child, has a evil soul, because I'm thinking of the Scooby-Doo movie where Shaggy had to take care of a bunch of like preteen monster girls, and one of the things that happened is that when he looked inside the mirror, and then a monster version of him pulled him out and then pretended to be him. So I'm thinking of like, what if this is the same case here, but instead of like a mirror self, it's like a evil soul that took over Timothy's body and put his soul into a bird. Just like random, like slapped, just found this bird, was like slapped it in there. But why is Timothy acting normal? You know? Yeah, I think if Timothy were to act normal, then I think the second theory would make more sense. That like maybe it's an evil soul or demon that took over the body. Or, you know what? Maybe Timmy the bird is just a manifestation that thinks that Timmy the child. Like they think that Timothy, but they're actually not. They're just a bird with a child's soul in it. And they just have no other information except that they think they're Timmy. Research note, as SCP-192 is unable to manipulate objects with enough coordination to play with the video games it requested and shows little interest in other toys we have offered it, it has taken to scribbling and making crude drawings with the materials we have provided. A list of notable materials are also as follows. Several pages of unrelated words presumed to be writing practice. Several pages of crude drawings including race cars, airplanes, and fictional animals and monsters. A single page with the words "Why am I my bird?" as well as several more indecipherable sentences. A drawing of what appears to be a small child holding the hands of two adults. The child is scratched out and the paper is ripped. The reverse side of the page has the words "I want my mom." A single page with 126 instances of the word mom and 76 instances of the word home. Dr. Blank, Senior Observer. This is, well, it's not wholesome, it's not horror, but it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. Because if this is an actual child's soul inside a bird, then the Foundation cannot really do much because they have no idea what caused this. And even if this just a random SCP that thinks it's a child inside a bird body. That's just a very sad thing to be born as, you know. You literally are in the wrong body, you know. You feel bad and you want to go home, but the Foundation will never allow it to go home. And even if they brought it to the address, there's already Timothy there, so there's nothing they can do except like just keep him longer and maybe eventually find a solution. But who knows how many years that will take. Timmy. Alright. Okay. Buried Giant. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I think this one's gonna be one that's like really simple. It's basically, that's all it is. It's like a skeleton of a giant, or maybe even like a still alive giant that was buried on the ground, and somebody must have just found him and then dug him up and was like, oh, this is a big boy. I think, oh, this is very highly rated. This is even higher than Timmy. But back to safe. Sorry. That table is gonna get flipped longer than expected too. Yeah, it seems to be like average. Double flips. Yeah, there goes the table again. The borehole containing -1 is to be capped with a tungsten. You got a lot of tables to flip. Every SCP reading, you just make sure you have 10 tables. One for each SCP that we read. The borehole containing -1 is to be capped with a tungsten steel grate containing a locking 2.5 centimeter endoscopy aperture. At 48 hours intervals, the borehole is to be endoscopically inspected to a depth of 4 kilometers for further manifestations of -1. Seismographic monitoring devices are posted at 2, 7, and 11 kilometers depths alongside the -1 borehole. Seismic readings consistent with subterranean movement are to be reported immediately to Site Director Iqbal. In the event of subterranean containment breach, containment staff are to execute Protocol 473A, severing -1 below the 5th elbow and backfilling remaining portions of the borehole with pressurized concrete. I flipped it was like skateboard. Your mom and your partner's like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, it's another save! And then after a while, like your partner just contacts me. He's like, hey man, can you just make sure that whatever SCP you're gonna read is not a save anymore, because like we're running out of tables. The cost of the tables, man, it's getting a bit much. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, I'll take care of that. The basement containing SCP-1193 is to be monitored at all times by Foundation Interrogator. -2 is to be answered on or before the 3rd ring. Interrogator should attempt to elicit self-directed responses from -1. Responses which implicate size, body plan, location, or further manifestation are to be recorded in document SCP-1193-2-LTR. Here we go, the description now. -1 is a genetically normal human arm of unusual length, located in a drainage pipe inside the basement of a telephone switching station in Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay, I will say I did not expect an arm to be inside a pipe. I honestly expected a whole giant. I didn't expect only 10% of the giant. 10 centimeters below the drainage grate, the arm terminates in an unremarkable human hand of indeterminate gender. Upon initial examination, the arm was believed to extend through the drainage pipe to a depth of 35 meters. False advertisement. You clickbaited me! Subsequent endoscopic investigation demonstrated that the arm extends to at least a depth of 71 kilometers. Okay, that's a big arm. Passing without apparent difficulty through the mohorific discontinuity in the upper mantle with regularly spaced elbows every 4 kilometers. That's a lot of elbows that his arm has. Elbow below a depth of 26 kilometers are slightly retroflexed to accommodate a 9-degree southward bend in the drainage borehole. Continued endoscopic investigation into the -1 borehole is suspended due to presently intractable engineering constraint. Imagine a normal-sized person with one arm like that. Help! You're like, oh, don't worry. Let me just get my hand real quick. It just takes forever because that arm is like so long. So you just have to like wait like 10 minutes till the hand finally like reaches towards you. Communication via -2 mostly concerning -1's oven and refrigerator indicate that -1 may lack conventional thermoception and that is experiencing no substantial discomfort despite borehole temperatures in excess of 674 degrees centigrade. That's pretty hot. -2 is a GPO 746 telephone topaz yellow manufactured in 1971. Its dimensions preclude it having been delivered to the site via the borehole. Containment teams' present working theory is that it was installed topside for the purpose of communicating with -1. Installation was conducted by unknown parties by unknown means for unknown purposes. Okay. The rotary dial has been glued into place, rendering it unsuitable for outgoing phone calls. It is attached to a conventional twisted pair line which enters the drainage pipe containing -1 and ascends parallel to -1 until endoscopy is no longer predictable. At between 838 and 1034 hours Mountain Standard Time each weekday, the phone will ring 5 times. If answered, an unidentified voice will willingly engage in conversation with SCP personnel. The voice on the other end of the line invariably claims to be a human being and regularly mistakes the individuals on the other end of the phone for an authority figure. Interrogation to date has therefore been relatively uncomplicated. Notable parallels exist between information elicited via -2 and demonstrable facts about -1. To date, anomalous information received via -2 has included with references to human features but an anomalous body plan, references to insensitivity to heat or cold, references to a cousin or other relative who will soon arrive to pick him up, references to discomfort and boredom at confinement, references to minor seismic events along the Little Chino Fault Complex, references to discomfort at having a limb or other body part restrained as by handcuff or jelly jaw or a pipe, a cast, or in other instances a gopher hole. So this guy is just casually talking like, yeah, I like this, I don't like that, this is how my body works. And they're like, okay, yeah, just keep on talking. What do you mean your leg is 5 kilometers thick? At present, data related to SCP to -1 size, physical form, and body plan beyond the parts visible through endoscopic investigation should be regarded as provisional. For contingent protocols and physiological testing data, consult document RTMR Delta. Transcript. Okay, -2-LTR7. Begin recording 3rd, 24th, 2008, 9:48 a.m. Okay, so hey, where did all these people come from? Welcome to Fluff. Welcome to me reading about a giant with a 71 kilometer long arm. Arms massive. Probably doesn't go to the gym though. I mean, there's nothing in the gym that can ever help train that length of an arm. And everybody just left. Well, damn. Good morning. And who may I ask is calling? David. And where are you now, David? Inaudible. Sorry, who is this? Dr. Hassan Iqbal, Director of Research. Oh, from the hospital? That's right. So, when does the cast come off? I'm sorry? The cast on my bottom arm. When does it come off? I don't understand. You've got a cast on your bottom arm? I don't understand. Which arm is that? The bottom one. That doesn't explain anything. Can you take it off? I've already been in the hospital for 3 months. Seems like it should be about time. You say you're in the hospital now? You should know. You're the one who put me there. I think you must have me mistaken for someone else. Look, if you can help me, but put someone who knows what he's talking about on the line. I'm afraid I'm the only one here. Fine, just tell me when someone competent gets the phone. Alright, asshole. I mean, I'm just trying to help you out, man. Whoa, you don't have to call me out like that. Why are you so rude? You're being rude. Dick. No, come back. I want this cast off me, please. Transcript. -2, LTR 8. Begin recording 3rd 24th 2009. Did we? A whole year, damn. Okay. 9:52 a.m. Okay, so we're back with the same people. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it! Like you can actually hear him from on the ground, just like. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Who is this? Where are you? For Christ's sake, I'm stuck in the stove here, man. Get the fire department. Imagine getting a phone call and the guy's just like, I'm stuck in the stove, man. You're like, wow, okay, sure, why didn't you just call the fire department? The stove? Are you? I'm sorry, the stove? Yeah, the stove. Help me, step bro, I'm stuck. Not a boring convo though. No, definitely not. It's definitely not boring, but it must be odd. Yeah, the stove. I went in there to get some cakes and I can't get back out. You went in the stove to get out some cakes. Am I hearing you correctly? It's a tight fit here. Jesus, are you? Is the temperature Is the temperature uncomfortable? The what? Temperature. Are you in pain? I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you call the goddamn fire department? My back. Jesus Christ, my back. I'm the only person here. I can't take it anymore. Fuck. I'm sorry. I'm calling my cousin now. I'm so sorry. This isn't my fault. So sassy. Yeah, he's just like. He's just asking like, hey, what about the heat? And he's like, what are you talking about? What is heat? Like I would ask him like, you do know you need heat to make cake, right? Like, so you know that the cake gets nice and warm. Wait a minute, does it mean if he doesn't have any idea of temperature or heat and stuff like that, does that mean that any food this guy eats is just neutral? It's not cold, not warm, it's just bland neutral? What a sad life to live. Maybe he just doesn't have heat sensors. But he also apparently, it also has been explained that he doesn't feel cold either. So I feel like, I wonder, Alright, let me just get my phone out again and stopwatch, there we go. Damaged toy horse. It's odd. It is odd. It's strange. I don't know. I was just blanked out because I was trying to think of like what the conversation was again from Doctor Strange, where like the villain asks him about his name, and then he doesn't like say his name at first, and then the villain thinks that's his name, but then Doctor Strange goes like, it's strange, and then like the villain just goes like, it is, but who am I to judge? And I'm just like, it's such a good line, but I completely forgot how the original one goes. So damaged toy horse, I have no idea. It's a toy horse. It's damaged. Now that's a lot of that, but I don't know what else. What else it could? What the anomalous effect could be? Maybe the toy horse is a mini version of. I have the emotional damage button here, but it doesn't fucking work because for some reason the audio shit doesn't work. Actually, no, it doesn't work either. But I was about to say maybe the toy horse is like a little mini version of the Troy toy horse. The Troy wooden horse. You know, with all the people were in it, and it's like, yeah, we got you a fucking gift, bro. And everyone's like, oh, that's nice. And lead right in, and they're like, shut up, be quiet, idiot. You know what I mean? So, what if it's that? What if it's the toy version of that, and then the ass just opens up, and there's a whole bunch of mini guys just like, charge! And it's just like, the smallest people just like, trying to attack you. Well, man, that out of 5 SCPs so far, we had 4 saves. One single Euclid. One single Euclid. I wonder if we're going to get a keto in this one. Dash 1 is to be kept in a secured storage locker, and SCP really is bullying. It heard that. I hear you don't like Euclids. I hear you don't like saves. Well, unfortunately for you, this whole closet is filled with save SCPs. No! Secure storage locker in Research Sector 12 when not in use. The activation of SCP-1194 is to be initiated through determination of the active -2-T subject, or if more convenient, the -2 instance. It's fine, but dangerous is just so much more interesting. Yeah. I still, I always keep, safe is very, alluding, what's the word? Dissuading? Because, even though an SCP can be considered safe, it can still be highly dangerous, but, the only thing that makes it safe is that, you have to you have to do something to get that dangerous side out of them. With Euclid, it's just now we have a bit less control, but with safe, it's we have more control, but this shit still can kill half the universe if we decide to not leave it be. Testing Chamber 13-A, a standard humanoid containment unit, and 13-B, modified to serve as a stable, are to be maintained for the purposes of experimentation. Wait, there's a stable? This horse has an actual stable, involving SCP-1194. Please see document-C for extensive information on standard testing procedure. SCP-1194 consists of 2 parts, -2 and -1-2. -1 is a small device, roughly 3 × 1 × 4 centimeters, consisting of a speaker attached to a pull string, roughly 6 centimeters of which is exposed while not being activated, with an actual length of roughly 11 centimeters. And a plastic case and analysis of the speaker, however, shows it to have some point been rendered inactive despite the remainder of the mechanism being functional. Upon being protracted, the string will slowly retract to its original length at a rate proportional to the length removed. When a female subject pulls the string until an additional 3 centimeters is exposed, SCP-1194 is activated, causing the manifestation of a -2 instance. There's a footnote. The relevant female is at this point considered -2-T and is assigned a specific number, example SCP-1194-T-3. Partial retraction by a male subject does not have this effect. This horse only gets off on girls. Hey, danke mal. Hey, Nico, hast du es doch mal geschafft, dir zu schauen. Leider bin ich gerade weg von Devil Streamed Hash. Grüß. Oh, hey! Hey, wie geht's? Mach dir keine Sorgen. Du hast halt dein eigenes Leben und musst ein paar Sachen machen, oder? Jetzt bist du halt mal dabei. Jade is a, I would say friend. We're friends by now. I told him about the SCP streams on my cousin's wedding. and I shared him my link and so that's when super danke, aber du bist immer relativ spät für mich. Stimmt, ja, das stimmt. Ich bin immer um 10 Uhr und bis um 1 Uhr morgens. So, das ist, die normalen Leute sind am Schlafen. So that's who the fourth person is. Okay, that makes sense. Where was I? Has no clue what's being said. It's all in Swiss German and I'll keep it in English as much as I can. Where was I? Oh yeah, this horse gets off a woman. That's what I said last time. -2 is an organism largely similar in physiology and morphology to an adult member of Ichthyosaurus scabulus. But today I'm all in. Nice, bro. Well, you missed the first 4 SCPs we read. Gotta look at the names again. Yeah, we had the Universal Simulator, a video game that makes anybody who plays it highly addicted to it to the extent where they will forget to take care of themselves, and you can create your own universe, and you can decide whatever you want with it. Then we have the criminal past. Anybody who is a high criminal touches a branch, they legitimately think that they are innocent, and that the crime that never happened, they're being framed, so on and so forth. Timmy is a bird who either A, thinks they're a human child or has a human child soul in them. Burry Giant is some random dude on the ground with a 71-kilometer long arm that constantly calls the phone and is like, "Hey man, I'm stuck. Please get me the fuck out of here." And whatever they're stuck in is random. Sometimes it's a hospital, sometimes it's a stove, stuff like that. And now we have a horse, a toy horse, which is an average height of 139 centimeters, which is 1 meter 39 tall. Okay. Upon the activation of SCP-194, -2 will appear on the nearest suitable flat surface. Suitable flat surface refers to any solid surface with great enough area to accommodate a standing full-grown horse without any inhibiting factors such as the presence of liquid or solid matter, extreme ambient temperature, etc., which would cause severe injury to restrict the movement of the specimen. Okay, damn. Provided such a space is present within 30 meters of the device. Otherwise, activation will fail to occur. So in the moment okay, I get it. So the moment you take this toy horse and you're a woman, and you take this toy horse and you see a string and you're like, well, let me see what happens. And like, is this the max? It feels like the max. And you're like, oh no. Then another horse just like comes out of it. Just pops out. This toy horse just gave birth to an actual horse. Provides such a space as well. Otherwise, activation will fail to occur. Instances have displayed various sizes, breeds, and both sexes, and are notable for various pathological irregularities, including the presence of beta-cyanins, pararosanilin, and other pigments not usually found in mammals on their coats, typically causing a mild purple or pink coloration. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Elden Ring. You know how you can like whistle and you summon your steed, your ride. So I imagine it's the same concept. You have this toy horse and he's just like, I need a ride. Just like pull it like a grenade. And then you just have a horse, and it looks a bit odd, but you can. Well, actually, can you ride it? Maybe you can't. Who knows? Specimens do not synthesize or otherwise produce these chemicals, causing discoloration to fade over time. I'm sorry, but just for a little bit, let's enjoy this music. It's from Sonic Unleashed. All right. I tried Elden Ring. Died insta first and counts 5 times and deinstalled. Yeah, I mean Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro. Those are all games made by the same company, and they're all meant to be extremely difficult. So it's all about just trying to like learn and adapt and get stronger and stuff like that. So if you're not used to that kind of games, then yeah, it can be, especially Elden Ring, where it's like a lot more open world. That's gonna spank ya. It's gonna give you a bad time, real fast. The depths of a -2 specimen, that of the relevant -2-T subject, or the string of -1 being pulled during an active state will cause the current instance of -2 to disappear. I see. So you can just be like. So you can basically So the horse you have already vanishes, but a new horse pops up. Okay. Should the animal situation occur, a new specimen will appear, provided the conditions for this occurring are met. Upon disappearing, the volume previously occupied by the specimens will be replaced by a gas consistent in composition and density with a standard tropospheric air. The following is a copy of the text found on a torn document recovered with -1, see below. A section of the document has been rendered illegible. Further investigation has revealed no information regarding the object's relation to group of interest. Of course it's Dr. Valentine. I fucking knew it. That's one of the companies that make SCPs. Of course, Duh. It's a toy SCP. Of course, Dr. Valentine is behind all this. A cowgirl looks like you got your very own Wonder Pony. Dr. Valentine's Wonder Pony is a fun educational toy which will help teach any horse-loving girls that things like how to take care of a sick horse, the importance of care and attention, and how to feed a horse, all without having to take care of the muck. Not only that, but your pony will provide constant companionship and friendship. Your very own real Wonder Pony can even section damaged. Pony is the intellectual property of Dr. Valentine. Dr. Valentine assumes no responsibility for physical, mental, or emotional harm caused by misuse of Dr. Valentine's Wonder Pony. If disassembled or otherwise damaged, Dr. Valentine takes no responsibility for the destruction of life created by Dr. Valentine or damage caused by said life after creation. For more information, please contact the Public Relations Department currently associated with Dr. Valentine. I hope I did that part good, because I love doing. Back then, we all had those commercials, right, where they would sell something. But then, like the small written part, I would just read it real fast. So I hope I did it justice with this part. Specimens of -2 behave. So yeah, Dr. Valentine just decided to make it. Just create life with a horse. Specimens of -2 have behaved in a manner normal for a horse of the estimated age. Typically 4 to 5 years, except in 3 at time of writing. Known cases, please refer to documentation regarding -2-5, 9, and 13, all of which were significantly below the average age of other specimens. Several notable anatomical and physiological distinctions are, however, present. Firstly, specimens are effectively incapable of vocalization. Oh, they can't, they just... Well, I guess I'm here. Or if the horse, instead of neighing, it just talks. Wow, look at this horse, mother. It's so beautiful. Why, thank you. Whoa! What? You're not supposed to talk, and you're not supposed to be a little shit either. But here we are. Mom, the horse cursed at me. Yeah. So what is your mom gonna do? Kill me? Your mom doesn't have the balls. Like, it's like the most rudest horse ever. It can't talk, but it's absolutely a dickhead. That would be funny. Has no feature of relevant Wait. Incapable of vocalization. Examination has revealed no direct cause of this, as no features or relevant tissue or mouthparts seem to function in a preventative manner. Experimentation involving the placement of specimens in situations which would cause distress has failed to provoke any vocal reaction, despite successfully doing so in the cases of normal horses. By the way, Nico, where did the name Donkey Punch come from? Is it from... I assume it's from Donkey Kong. Because that's the only thing I can think of. Knowing our conversation at the wedding, I assume let's not get not into my name. Okay, no problem. And don't go. Okay. Don't tell him. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'll do it privately in case it is. Okay. I understand. Specimens do not excrete feces or urine. Okay, so it's a clean horse. Despite intaking and digesting food normally, specimens do, however, maintain a relatively constant mass if well fed, and will lose mass if not provided with food. How this is circulated is not currently known. Wow, it just... the poop and piss just vanish. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would love that. Imagine never having to go to the bathroom. It's just, you just eat something and just go. The hunger goes away, and then the food gets digested but vanishes, just gone. But honestly, the story with the horse also, it's not that. Nope. Extended lack of contact with the relevant -2-T subject has invariably resulted in several severe symptoms occurring in -2 specimens, usually becoming noticeable after 4 days without physical contact, and substantially affecting behavior after 7 to 8. This has in all known cases followed the same progression: heart rate first decreasing at a constant rate, followed by the symptoms of prolonged nutrient deprivation, and the specimens behaving in a way consistent with that of horses experiencing illness and starvation. Death will occur at 14 days. The exact cause of this is not known due to the disappearance experienced by -2 upon dying. Imagine being a small girl, and you have this toy, and you just pull it, and you just have this horse in your house, right? You're happy. You take care of it. It doesn't poop. It doesn't piss. It doesn't talk. It doesn't make any noise. Your parents are like, well, it behaves. It behaves really well. Might as well just keep it. It doesn't make a mess. But then 2 weeks afterwards, it just dies. You know what I mean? Like, the child is gonna be forever traumatized, and then like, that's not really worth anything, is it? Just like, it's like forever traumatized, and then like, I want Mr. Hensworth back, and like, he had to go. Apparently, he has a short lifespan. And then the child just pulls the string again, and a new horse pops up, and she's like, it's not as pretty as the previous one, but it will do 2 weeks later. No! Lorenzo! And then you as a father just stay like, don't, honey, don't. Hand on shoulder, don't do it, honey. It's not worth the pain. The trauma. You have to let it go. Okay. The unusual pigment present within the coat of specimens will regularly, in example, once every 3 to 12 months be replaced with green. I see. Okay, I wanted to read, like, because it says here that they can live for like 12 months, and I was like, wait, we just read that they die after 12 weeks, but no, if they're not in contact with the person that spawned them, they die after a couple of weeks. Okay. So you go on vacation, and you come back and it's just... But he replaced with green cadmium dye, eventually causing acute poisoning from absorption over several days. This process is gradual, marked by a decrease in the intensity of the previous coloration as the former pigment reduces in concentration while the cadmium increases, and typically takes 2 to 3 days to complete. While this is rarely fatal, the symptoms typically associated with exposure to the toxin manifest by the time the dye's concentration stops increasing. Continued exposure to SCP-2-T appears to lessen the severity of these symptoms, and the substance will disappear from the body of specimens over the course of several minutes under a week after initially appearing. When this occurs, the pigment previously removed will return, often to the concentration processed during the initial manifestation of the specimen. In all instances of this occurrence, specimens have made full recovery with provision of appropriate treatment. What you tell me is, so if the owner of the horse is not around for 2 weeks, it dies. And if the owner of the horse is not around constantly, or if is around for those 2 weeks but not always, the horse will slowly but surely poison itself. Which will lead to death as well. I understand now why it's called the broken toy horse. Because anything, no matter what you do, this horse is slowly but surely going to kill itself. Dash 1 was originally recovered from a house in blank England after an automated search of local police files regarding the suicide of one blank blank. The remains of a ceramic and plastic casing resembling a generic horse of no discernible breed, apparently broken by extreme fall damage, were also found within a meter of the object. Such casing's interior displayed similarity to that of toys designed to accommodate pull-string speakers. Approximately 20% of the casing could not be located, and standard post-acquisition protocol was later completed. Addendum referred to endoscopy reports 1194-blank through blank. Extensive analysis has demonstrated a consistent structural abnormality in the vocal folds of -2 specimens. Research is ongoing. Update 20. Blank. The vivisection of -2-blank 6, 7, and 8 has revealed the vocal apparatus to bear a notable similarity to that of an adolescent human female, despite the fact that both blank 6 and blank 8 were male. It is unknown if this represents the entirety of the organisms produced by SCP-1194. Exhaustive testing is currently being planned. Well, this was fun. I joked around a lot because it was an easy one to joke with. It's just the idea of a girl just being absolutely fucked with by this thing. We reached the halfway point, guys. We reached the halfway point. Child storybook. Oh boy. If this is not a Dr. One Entertainment creation, I swear to God. That motherfucker needs to be caught because he's creating trauma for children since 2007. He needs to be stopped. But a child storybook, huh? What could be the anomalous effect with this? Maybe whatever the storybook is becomes reality for the child. Or maybe the child gets absorbed into that storybook. Man, Jade. We are not getting many Euclids this at the end of the 1100s. We're not getting a lot of Euclids, no Ketos. This is safe city, baby. This is you ain't getting nothing else. Take it or leave it. or hear me out. It's a basic ass children's book. You wish. This is the SCP Foundation world, girl. Nothing's normal here. SCP-1195 is to be stored in a standard safe class storage locker. The locker is to be locked by keypad, the combination known to the current head researcher and changed in the event of a new researcher. SCP-1195 is to be placed on a standard lecture podium for ease of reading. Unless being dictated to or otherwise being used to, experimentation personnel are instructed to cease any oration. Is that how I say it? That is seen to provoke an unintended negative response. SCP-1195 is a leather-bound book, approximately 25 times 17 centimeters, of indeterminate origin and age. Carbon dating on the pages have given inconsistent results, and forensic examination of the leather matches no known species. It seems to have a variable number of pages, averaging approximately at 400. I will say this. I like reading book SCPs because like some of them are wild. Like the one book where if you I believe if you put a bookmarker in a book, no, if you put the book in a shelf, that book's world will take over the room, and you can participate in the story. But if you have to find a certain object, no, you have to find a book again because it will vanish, and if you don't find the book, you will be stuck in that world forever. And it's not always guaranteed that like you will have a good role either. So, but yeah, what I want to say is book SCPs are annoying to make thumbnails for, because my thumbnail is basically me looking at 10 screens, and each screen is an SCP. Right, is one of the SCPs that I read. And with book ones, it's annoying because like a lot of times the books are so specific in what they have on the cover or what they do, but I cannot show that through a single image, or I cannot find a book that fits the description. And I don't want to do like a lot of photoshopping for the SCP Foundation thumbnail because it's supposed to be like fast and simple. So yeah. I'm just complaining ahead of time because I know I have to make a thumbnail for this. I'll be like, oh. SCP-1195's anomalous properties become apparent whenever it is opened. Most often, the first page is found blank, and after a moment, the object will attempt to communicate via written text bleeding onto the page. Okay. It's just Tom Riddle. Tom Riddle and Harry Potter just talking to each other. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. It will always initially communicate in Euskara, but upon being responded to in any other language, it will continue to interact with the spoken written one instead. Its method of instantaneously understanding and learning in new languages is unknown and recommended for further study. SCP-1195 has demonstrated an ability to converse in Braille in experiments with blind test subjects. Tom Riddle confirmed. Yeah, right, Euskara. Just like parcel tongue. And then you just start speaking with English, and Tom is like, oh yeah, totally. Upon being activated in the... Tom Riddle is an SCP confirmed. Harry Potter takes place in the SCP universe. Upon being activated in this way, SCP-1195 will make one of the various requests. See document dash W37. I don't know why that just escaped my mind, the word dash. For a full list of requests, the most common request is to be told a story. When a story, allegory, or other similarly descriptive speech is directed towards it, SCP-1195 will begin transcription. If the story is not told in a general readable format, SCP-1195 will reformat without noticeable loss of speed in the process. If allowed pauses during the story, SCP-1195 will offer criticism, encouragement, or other comments, depending on the oratory skill, imagination, or interest of the speaker. Generally, SCP-1195 is willing to continue this process indefinitely, creating new pages as needed for extremely long stories. The maximum number of pages observed has been 3,189, at which point, who the fuck wants to read that many pages, dude? At which SCP-1195 stated that it was bored and that the experiment in progress was stupid. SCP-1195 then closed itself and upon being reopened was observed to only have 120 pages. However, whether this was due to satisfaction with the experiment or with the quality of the narrative is unknown. Bro, you suck at writing stories, man. How dare you say that to me? Well, I'm good at writing stories. Nah, man. Gotta say, I've been listening to what you've been saying, and it's not good. SCP-1195 has no direct means of locomotion. However, it can close itself with up to 15 Newton of force and turn its own pages. It generally allows itself to be handled by anyone, save those who have physically damaged it or anchored it previously. By the way, I know for a lot of people who study like science and physics and all that, 15 newtons is like easy for them to understand. But for people like us, can you just say like it can close itself with enough force to, I don't know, squash a strawberry? I don't know, something like that, you know? Because 15 newtons of force, I don't know how strong or weak that is. Like if you tell me like if close it with the force to like shatter glass, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's impressive. I think I heard a dog barking. All attempts to coax SCP-1195 into divulging information about its origins, history, or other personal data have met with failure. Doggy, yes, I think. I'm not sure if it's like one of the neighbors downstairs, or if it's like outside. SCP-1195 states that it would need permission to share its personal history. Need permission from who? My mom. Stories transcribed into SCP-1195 will in... God damn, my lips are annoying me. Stories transcribed into SCP-1195 will not, in most cases, not remain long, with the exception of stories of subjectively high quality or substantial length, which may stay for up to blank weeks. Most often, any previous story is erased as soon as new subject arrives. SCP-1195 appears to remember certain individuals and, based on previous story quality and other experiences, will show varying levels of excitement and cooperation during subsequent sessions. So it's basically just a book editor. It just gets your book and then reads through it and it's like, cut this part out, this is not great, make this more exciting. That's what this SCP is. Attempts to damage the book have met with varied results. It is clear that the cosmetic and superficial damage to the exterior is lasting. As such, experiments must adhere to a guideline that do not cause further damage to this area. The pages, however, seem to be able to be replicated with no upward limit. SCP-1195 generates additional pages as needed. In the event that the page is physically removed from the object, text fades from the excised page immediately, and kerning on the remaining pages is adjusted so that the original full text is accommodated. Sorry. Writing into the book has the same communicative results as speaking orally during initial interaction. Once the recitation process has begun, however, the text handwritten in will be absorbed after a moment and responded to. For example, a written-in note about SCP-1195's choice of formatting a particular paragraph will be considered and either disregarded or the format changed. Now here we have document W37, request made by SCP-1195 as of blank blank 2000 blank. Tell me a story. 8,985 times. Tell me a better story. 1,158 times. No kissy stuff. We're not here for any of those. For any of the romance. 972 times in response to narratives featuring erotic or romantic content. Tell me a joke. 604 times. Leave me alone, I'm sleepy. 411 times. Leave me alone, you stupid. 283 times. 93, sorry. Come back, I'll be good, I promise. 74 times made in response to reading as sessions being aborted or to certain readers being replaced mid-session. I want my mommy one time. What? Are you Timmy? It must be lonely. Yeah, it probably is, huh? It's if you know anything from Tom Riddle, it's just somewhere underneath a school, just waiting for Harry to come down there. Maybe that's what it is. That's why it's called Child Storybook. That's why he says, I want my mommy. and that's why he says you're stupid or stuff like that, because it's a child. It's a story. It's a storybook, as in like you make the story. It writes your story that you say, but the book itself has the mentality of a child. That's what it is. Took me way too long to realize that. Or child trapped in the book. Oh, that, yeah. If that's the case, though, it would be too similar to Timmy, right? Because it's a child trapped in the... Well, we think it's a child trapped in the bird's body. Oh well. Chiropractors. I'm pretty sure that's not written correctly, right? That's chiropractors. A chiropractor for chairs. Don't worry about it. We'll give this guy some nice little rub and dry, and he will appreciate it. Oh wait, hold on. I think I forgot to do my stopwatch thing for the other one. Maybe, hold on. That's first SCP. Yeah, I think I forgot to do this the stopwatch for Child Storybook by accident. Oh well, I did it for chiropractors. Yeah, I think it's just a chiropractor for chairs. And we are swimming in save. The building formerly housing the blank back clinic and SCP-1196 has been repurposed as a breaks off chair legs. No! As a Foundation front business, the entrance to the basement has been replaced by a reinforced steel door and is to be triple locked. The unlocking codes are only available for access by level 3 personnel and higher. If SCP-1196 area of effect appears to have shifted in any way, the site director should be contacted immediately. Under no circumstances, unless explicitly for testing, are chairs allowed within SCP-1196. What if it's a child stuck in a chair? Like the last 4 is just all children stuck in something. SCP-1196 is it's just Five Nights at Freddy's with random objects. SCP-1196 is the basement of the former back clinic located in . The basement walls and ceilings are all composed of concrete with several support pillars at various points in the room. The floor is unfinished. Fluorescent lighting tubes line the ceiling, but only 3 of them remain in working condition. SCP-1196 anomalous properties only arise when a chair is introduced to it. Hereby defined as an object with 4 legs and a seat that is designed for sitting in. Rolling chairs are not affected, although rocking chairs are. Very, very specific style of chairs that it accepts. What are you, chairist? So, as soon as the legs of a chair are allowed contact with the floor of SCP-1196, it becomes an instance of -1. -1 is a designation given to any chair under the effect of SCP-1196. Instances of -1 appear to gain sentience and the ability to move independently, either by shuffling across the floor or, in the case of folding chairs, rapidly opening and closing their legs. Chairs removed from SCP-1196 lose all anomalous properties. Okay. Would you do that, Jade? Jade, would you hurt this chair? It's sentient now. And you're still willing to break the chair's leg off? Instances of -1 are able to speak in English through unknown means. It can speak, Jade. It can speak. It's sentient. It can walk and speak. You would snap one of its leg off. Through unknown means, this vocalization consists of short, clipped sentences spoken in high-pitched, squeaky voice. instances of -1 will only vocalize when a human being is inside SCP-196, regardless of the distance from the subject. Vocalization are usually commands that refer to the original health and posture of the subject. However, these commands are not based on the subject's actual spinal health, with instances of -1 saying the same sentences regardless. Okay, sample -1 phrases. So it's squeaky, right? It's like, oh god damn. Stand up straight. Don't shut. Fix your posture. Slashing cautious. Scoliosis. I said stand up straight. Straight. Oh boy. You gotta stand up straight. I'm just gonna use a Mickey Mouse voice then. It's probably easier than the voice. If a human being spends more than 30 minutes within SCP-196, all instances of -1 will fixate upon the individual, hereby referred to as subject. Is that why it's called chiropractor? Because it wants to do your body to be like in a better like pose and fixing like basically it tries to fix your body to be like, oh yeah, benefits for standing straight. Instances of -1 will follow the subject around and instruct them more clearly on the spinal health. Yeah, that's literally the reason why. If more than one human being is within SCP-1196, instances of -1 will fixate on a random individual. Exiting SCP-1196 negates this effect. If the subject remains inside SCP-196, several changes will occur in the current -1 population. As time elapses, instances of -1 will grow more active and vocalize more often, and the voice used will become deeper and louder. Oh boy. So it goes from like, oh boy, you gotta stand up, to like, oh boy, you gotta stand up straight. If the subject remains within SCP-196 for approximately 60 minutes, instances of -1 will vocalize rough commands and statements about the subject's spinal health in a more negative light, frequently repeating phrases such as awful posture and threatening tones. After approximately 80 minutes, to be honest, if our chairs could talk and tell us that our posture sucks, I wonder if we would use chairs ever again, or if everybody would have standing tables, or if people would be like, man, thanks, I'm glad. Let me just reposition myself and fix it. After approximately 80 minutes, instances of -1 will begin to assault the subject. Methods of attack include ramming, tripping, stabbing with chair legs, and crushing. The population of -1 will repeat these actions until the subject either escapes or is killed. However, instances of -1, despite being non-sapient entities, appear to display remorse to these actions, vocalization, various apologetic phrases. Individual instances of -1 have attempted to move or bury the bodies, oftentimes trying to utilize tools like shovels and brooms to little effect. We gotta get rid of the body. Sample apologetic phrases. Oh boy, we're sorry. Apologies. I'm sorry. Try helping. Forgive. I will never forgive you. You insulted me. Forgive? No. We don't forgive at this house. Alright. Room for one. Trying to think how this could be an SCP within, like, what the anomaly could be about it. Because I'm thinking of an actual room for one person, but what could be the anomalous effect? I mean, what also could be is that, like, the moment one person walks in, there's like no other person is allowed to enter. Like, there's something that just stops them from entering the room. And then, who knows, maybe the room does something to that person inside. Hey, our second Euclid. There we go. Spock. Let me just see what's happening here. Yay, more! I want more Euclid. Give me more. Give me more. SCP-1197 is to be filled with a Foundation-issued key-card lock designed to match neighboring units. It's a short one, but there's also incident logs, which is a bit longer. Never mind. Designated to match neighboring units. Management has been instructed to inform both staff and guests that SCP-1197 is indefinitely inaccessible. 2 armed personnel are to be incorporated into the civilian staff in the security office. Any subject emerging from SCP-1197 are to be detained and administered medical and psychological treatment before being interviewed. Following an active session, SCP-1197 is to be thoroughly searched and cleaned with the entrance door secured open. Any anomalous items and bodies are to be removed and studied. -1 is not to be manipulated at any time outside of testing. SCP-1197 is a hotel suite blank in redacted, containing a bedroom area. Does my things work now, please? God damn it. Containing a bedroom area, bathroom, and typical furnishing, including a television, mini fridge, and telephone. The windows on the far wall of the bedroom cannot be opened, and the walls, floor, and ceiling cannot be damaged or breached by any known means. When viewed through the windows from outside, SCP-1197 appears as clean and unoccupied room at all times. SCP-1197 can be occupied for any amount of time and freely vacated provided the occupant does not open -1. -1 is a doorway in the western wall of SCP-1197. Although it appears to connect to the adjacent suite, the corresponding door in room blank cannot be opened. -1 remains locked unless the entrance door to SCP-1197 is closed. Itchy nose. At which point -1 can be opened. Opening -1 will reveal an identical version of SCP-1197, including any current occupant who have opened their version of -1 at the same moment. New instances of subject exhibits accurate knowledge in response to questions of identity and act in a similar manner. Posthumous testing revealed no biological discrepancies. SCP-1197 has demonstrated the ability to spawn items during an active session. Out of view of any occupant's utilities with the exception of the telephone continue to function but occasionally experience outage. Imagine you're in a hotel room, you're having a good time, you're just like relaxing, you just came from dinner, and then you look at your bed, no, not even the bed, you look at the couch, and you're like, I don't remember this object being there. I guess the cleaners must have left it here. And then you go to the bathroom, you come back out, you look at the couch again, suddenly there's a second object there, and you're like, what? Is somebody in there? Hello? And then you put this object outside of the you take them from the couch, you move to the hallway, you put it outside, and be like, okay, somebody left them here, I'll just leave it there. And then you turn around, and then like your bed has this time a new object on it, and you're like, what the fuck? How is this happening? SCP-1197 has demonstrated the ability to respond items during an active session out of view of utilities with the exception of I already read that, never mind. During an active session, the entrance door to SCP-1197 will no longer open and cannot be breached from either side. Should one instance of each occupant expire, -1 will close and the entrance door will open for whichever room is currently occupied. To date, all recorded deaths within SCP-1197 have resulted from homicide. Addendum. Note, the Foundation became aware of SCP-1197 4 days into the incident /3. Interviews with hotel staff and local authorities provided information regarding previous incidents for clarification purposes. Surviving subjects are designated -1, -2, etc. While the duplicates are designated -1-B respectively. Oh, it's not minus, it's -1. Duh. Always has been, always will be in the SCP universe. Subject blank blank. Approximately 16 hours. Subject 1 failed to check out of SCP-197. Hotel staff could not open the door. Authorities notified. Before police arrived, subject exited SCP-197, appearing distressed and acting violently towards anyone approaching him. A battered body similar in appearance to the subject was discovered in SCP-197. Subject arrested and interrogated before committing suicide in police custody. This reminds me of a film. I forgot which one. I think it's the second VHS film that I watched, a horror film. The whole premise is that there are VHSs that have like different horror stories in it, and one of them was a husband, creating a machine that is allowed to visit other reality, and then he succeeds, and he sees himself on the other side with the same machine, and they talk to each other. It's like saying like how like, oh, they've done it, they made it work, and then they want to like switch places just to see how the realities are different from theirs. The guy who we follow the most, we realize that the reality that his other version is from is definitely a bit more weird. First of all, the sexual drive for everybody is much higher, just the sexual desire as well, but also the sexual organs are basically monsters. So the penis and the vagina are like monsters basically, and he realizes this and realizes that he left. First of all, he realizes this, that it's odd because he sees that his original wife is not in the other reality. It's like a whole different woman. So he realizes he just left a version of him with a monster cock wander into his house where his wife is. So he, of course, tries to get back as fast as possible. He's getting chased by all these guys, and also whenever they are sexually active, the eyes glow bright and the mouth open up like and stuff like that, and it also comes a glow out of them. So he runs back and he kills himself, as in like the other version of him, and shoves him back into the teleporter and then closes it, and then his wife comes behind him all like bloodied and stuff because Mr. Second him tried to have some fun with her and only realized too late that, like, you know, she doesn't have the same stuff as they have. So from her perspective, her husband was a freak. So when the wife shows up again and the husband's like, honey, it's all good, I fixed the issue, she kills the husband because she thought that, you know, that either A, he was still the same guy that tried to like do the thing, or B, that he always was like that and she just never realized. So that's what this reminds me of. It's like you meet your other self and then you just both want to like, you just realize like one of you say the same things, you think the same way, but one of you is definitely a bit more evil than the other one. Interrogation logs provide rough details. That was a huge tangent, I'm so sorry. Details of an SCP-1197 active session during which the Subject 1 accused Subject A of lying about his identity, denied the reality of the situation, and attempted to escape. Eventually, the Subject 1 subdued and tortured Subject A to gain additional information and or freedom. Subject A expired from inflicted injuries, at which point -1 closed and the entrance door opened. Posthumous DNA testing revealed a match between the Subject 1 and Subject A. So duration unknown. A body matching Subject 1 was found in SCP-197 by cleaning staff at approximately 12:15 p.m. The day after the Subject 1 checked in. A police investigation determined the cause of death to be asphyxiation using a leather belt matching the one worn by Subject A. Time of death estimated at 9:30 a.m. Hotel security video and front desk logs show Subject 1 exiting room and checking out at 9:37 a.m. Subject 1's current location unknown. That must be odd. That must be so weird for the hotel management. Imagine like you find the dead body of a guest, but then the same person that you thought was dead is also walking out of the hotel. Blank and blank blank. Approximately 45 days. Well, excuse me. That long? Before the Foundation could secure the site of Subject 1 male and Subject 2 female. You never seen H hotel then? I have not yet. No, wait, I think I am at hotel. I think I watched like the first episode of Hotel. I think. Wait, hold on. Come on. Oh. I'm horrible when it comes to like TV shows. Then I watched the first episode. I'm horrible with TV shows because that's the only thing I need a friend with to watch that stuff. Animes and movies and video games and all that stuff, I do them. I will binge through them. I play through them nonstop. But TV shows are the one thing. So I'm like, I want a friend to watch them with. So whenever people say like you haven't watched this show yet, even though I love horror stuff, I'm like, yeah, because I don't want to watch it alone. I want to have fun with somebody else. I want to freak out. I want to yell. I want to joke around with somebody. Activated SCP-197. On-site personnel responded to a reopening of site of SCP-197 to discover Subject 1 assaulting Subject 2. Subject 1 detained. Subject 2 transported to the nearest hospital on the guard. I do get that. Thank you. Interview revealed Subject to be a married couple. Subject 1 opened -1 while unpacking, discovering Subject A and Subject B. After a few hours of panic and argument, Subject 2 and Subject B were able to calm their husbands and all four agreed to rest and await rescue. Subject B discovered wrapped sandwiches in the mini fridge, which hadn't been there previously, sharing them amongst all four subjects. The fridge replenished every day at first, but actually produced food less and less frequently. Over the following weeks, tension grew between the couples until they decided to keep -1 closed and check in daily. Eventually, Subject A claimed the fridge ceased producing food, resulting in a violent altercation, after which -1 was closed and barricaded from both sides. Several days later, Subject 1 awoke to find Subject 2 missing. Forcing -1 open, Subject 1 discovered Subject A in bed with Subject 2 and Subject B. All three claimed innocence due to accusation of infidelity. Subject 1 assaulted Subject A, leading to the death of Subject A and Subject B. Subject 1 closed an entrance door open. Two bodies were recovered for study. Subject 2 expired from injuries for being interviewed. Jesus, you just killed a copy version of yourself and a copy version of your partner, and assaulted then your actual partner. God damn. Subject D 1916, a 28-year-old male convicted of a gang-related homicide, approximately 9 days. D 1916 instructed to enter SCP-197, wait until the entrance door was closed, and open -1. D1916, equipped with audio and video recording devices, remote feeds were lost when -1 was open. Upon exiting SCP-197, I see what it is. D1916-1 attempt to escape the hotel before being detained. Yeah, so looks like the copy version of him probably killed the original and then tried to escape. Maybe. Oh no, wait, it says here that D1916-1 described meeting D1916-A and exchanging a question until both accepted the situation. I'm just going to say D1 and DA attempt to escape but were unable to breach doors and windows or contact anyone via telephone. Over the next week, increasingly elaborate plans were enacted but all met with failure as various utilities such as power, water, and air conditioning began failing for long periods. Arguing intensified until D1 discovered an electric iron in the closet and bludgeoned DA to death. D1 closed and the entrance door opened. Body, iron, and 2 recording devices recovered for study. So basically, recovered recordings show a clean, quiet, and unoccupied room matching that scene through the window. The video follows the movement of each subject, but even when pointed out each other or that mirrors do not show the subject or recording devices. So Jade, basically, this whole room is you walk in, you close the door to your room. There's not a door in the room. You open that up. You see yourself, and then you realize that the main door you came from, doesn't open anymore. And the only way to get out is by killing one of you kills the other one. I hope this is dangerous enough for you. It is Euclid, right? Yeah, it is Euclid. What a nice one. D9845, a 24-year-old male convicted of 3 related homicides, 5 minutes. D985, armed with a loaded pistol and fully informed about the nature of SCP-197. D985, instructed to enter SCP-197, wait until the entrance door was closed and open -1. Entrance door opened minutes later, revealing D1 leaning against armchair with a gunshot wound in the side, facing a closed -1. D1 ordered by armed personnel to drop pistol and lay face down. D1 complied. D1 described opening -1 and being shot before returning fire and presumably terminating DA. Personnel reported not hearing any gunshots or the noises from SCP-1197 until entrance door reopened. D1 escorted from SCP-1197 and treated by medical personnel. Subject D5482, a 40-year-old female convicted of a domestic homicide, 38 hours. That's a long time. And that's also, I just realized how, like, these guys were together for 9 days. This guy was together with the other one for 5 minutes. Imagine, like, the door closes, you wait 5 minutes, and the next thing you know, you hear because the door opens again, you just hear, like, the last gunshot. And then he's like, man, I just shot myself in the face. D5482 instructed to enter SCP-197, wait until the entrance door was closed, and fully explore the room. After 38 hours, entrance door opened, but D1 did not exit. Security personnel entered SCP-197 and discovered D1 sitting on the bed, cradling DA, who had expired from a gunshot wound to the temple. A single pistol was found on the floor, which had not been issued to the subject. D1 body and pistol removed from SCP-197. D1 was calm and refused to describe her experiences, explaining only that she had dealt with her issues. It did say that that the room can spawn items, so it might have just spawned a gun, and then they kind of just like talked to each other about like issues they had, and then say goodbye to your old self kind of deal. Dr. Harrison, ongoing 96 days as of most recent prosecution report. Following extensive psychological examination, head researcher Dr. Harrison was cleared to activate SCP-197 for direct study. Subject provided with a standard survival pack, 30 days of rations, and 1 week worth of emergency drinking water. Various additional supplies approved, including clothing, books, writing materials, and board games. And he's still in there, apparently. Alright, we're reaching the last 2 SCPs. I will say that was a really good one. I like that one just from like, as a concept. It's I will say it, it's very trauma-inducing. The fact that the only way to get out of that situation is to kill yourself in a clone way, It's pretty dark. Endless Echo is the next one. Well, I mean, that's what I think it is. It's just when you say it just goes and doesn't stop. Which I can imagine that means every single sound it ever hears just goes on repeat. So you just have to be extremely quiet when you walk through this thing. Staying alive. Why are you saying that? Oh, God. I know why you're saying that, because I said, staying alive. Yeah, now I get it. I was like, what? The song is not staying alive. God. Oh god, we got some extra pages. Oh, never mind. That's another SCP. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes these lead to an extra page that will be like it has a bit more lore, but that leads to another SCP, so we're not gonna read it. Back to save we go. A single copy of SCP-1198 is stored in the high security data server of Site 19. It is stored in a password protected subsystem that is only accessible by level 3 or higher. Researchers assigned to SCP-1198 when used for experimental procedures. All personnel involved other than the intended subject are to wear hearing protection sufficient to block sound up to 70 decibels in volume. I'm happy I didn't have to explain. Yeah, sorry. For a moment, my head took a bit of time. I was like, why is she saying staying alive? It's Sweet Dreams that's on right now as music, so it can't be that. It doesn't sound like staying alive. So is that... And then I was like, maybe she wants to say staying alive to the echo, so it just says staying alive all the time. As a positive affirmation. But then I was like... It's because of what I said before. Subject affected by SCP-198 are to be instructed to communicate only via written or typed text, preferably through a touchscreen, so as to minimize sound produced. Subjects are not allowed access to any piercing instruments or other objects which could be repurposed to perforate the eardrums of the subject. Requests for authorization to commence testing on individuals who are fluent in science languages but retain full hearing are pending. Sorry. SCP-1198 is a sound file lasting 37.2 seconds that is encoded in the waveform audio file format. .wav, yes. To unaided human hearing, it appears to be a blank or silent file. Audio analysis reveals a high-frequency sound wave which is at the upper limit of normal human hearing. When transposed to a lower frequency, the sound file plays a complicated, non-repeating sequence of atonal screeches, which is then the other SCP that we will, in the far future, get to. Arrhythmic... God, my lips are annoying me right now. Arrhythmic pauses and pure tones, although every subject who hears the transposed sound file describes it as mildly to moderately unsettling. It only displays its anomalous properties when played at its original frequencies. Copies of the original file retain the anomalous properties, but converting the file to MP3 or any other audio file format eliminates the anomalous property. After being exposed to the entirety of SCP-198 at any volume between 35 decibels and 65 decibels, all subjects develop a unique form of auditory hallucinations, beginning approximately 10 hours after initial exposure. Subject will begin to hear any sounds directly caused by them to start to echo. This includes, but is not limited to, sounds such as speech, their own footsteps, the engine noise of a vehicle, the operating and internal bodily sounds such as breathing or stomach gurgles. Can you imagine like your own breathing echoes for you? That must be annoying. You just go like... And just that sound just gets echoed in your own head. Just like... And you're like, what? This effect does not include externally caused sounds such as speech of others, music, or naturally occurring echoes, all of which they hear normally. These anomalous echoes initially fade within a few moments, but over the course of approximately 48 hours, the duration of the echoes increases to the point that they no longer disappear. Affected subjects have described this in a variety of ways, but the echoes apparently neither increase nor decrease from the volume of the original sound, and sound layer over each other, such as the subject is constantly hearing all the echoes simultaneously. Although SCP-1198 does not affect any individual who is incapable of hearing, whether via sound dampeners or independent deafness, affected subjects who are later deafened continue to hear any pre-existing echoes. All affected subjects will eventually begin to display psychological abnormalities consistent with sensory overload, as well as generalized phonophobia and a heightened aversion to any activity on their part that would produce sound. Yeah, of course, you just don't want to make sound. Oh my god, imagine if you have to sneeze. Like that's the one thing like you would hate so much when you have this SCP effect on you. You just go like, and you just try to prevent yourself from sneezing, but you just like the feeling is so irritating. You just feel like just trying to stop yourself. And then like if you do sneeze, it's just that sound just echoed like for eternity. Once I hate my lips right now. Once a subject has acquired an indeterminate amount of layered echoes, they begin to experience secondary auditory hallucinations. Subjects who have progressed to this stage and are still willing and able to communicate textually report that the echoes that start to intermittently amplify and distort each other, such that the resulting interference patterns resemble speech. This new source of speech is internally consistent and identical across all subjects, whose reports indicate that the speech is simultaneously transmitted to all affected subjects. Samples are transcribed below. The only thing you have to fear is alone and afraid naked before the that made you. Elephants squash ants, don't they? Pity not the reaper, man. Pity yourself. Pity the fool. Fish, lizard, rat, monkey, man, gobbled, and forever. Throwing cacophony, things die, voices rise. Okay, last one, and then we have the SCP-1100s done, and the next weekend we'll start with the 1200s, a fresh new start. A whole new hundreds of SCPs to read. Okay. Flesh tone paint. You know, that always has been a gripe, hasn't it? So many too. Yeah. There's 7,000 of these things. If you're here with me throughout the years, we're gonna read through a lot of these fuckers. Because I'm planning to read all of them. Not only these ones, but also the joke ones, which I did read a couple joke ones before I started with the first one of the first of the 1000s. I read a couple joke ones. Flesh tone paint makes me interested. I think that maybe the reason why it's flesh tone is because it's kind of like liquefied human. I feel like when one day I'm not able to get in stream, you get dangerous ones. Who knows? I mean, if that's the case, I will text you. I'll be like, hey, you missed some really like big bad boys, but then you can just watch on my YouTube video and just have that in the background and just be like, okay, let me just, and then I can tell you which number it is, and because I gave my YouTube videos chapters, you can just look at the chapters, be like, where is that number, and then just click on that and watch that part, and then you can also see how long it is compared to the rest of the video. If it's like a super long one, you're like, oh my god, it's a dangerous one, and it took forever to read. But I think Flesh Tone Paint is maybe a guy that's been, oh yeah, it's one of these formats. Okay, it's short. It's considered safe. SCP-1199 is housed in its original container in a medium security containment locker, accessible for research purposes by level 2 or higher Area 25 research personnel. SCP-1199 Area 25 Industrial Laboratory. SCP-1199 is a can of glass house paint originating from an unknown manufacturer. Philip's last table. Although aged, the item is in fair condition. I wish I had my sound effects because I have the Final Fantasy victory sound, and I would love to play that after we finish reading this one, because then because of how far we've gotten. Although wait, hold on, let me check something. Real quick. Next time, yeah, once I'm finished with 1200s, right? Let me just see something. But not into men. So that works. But then if I do it over here, it doesn't work. Unless I don't know why is it like this? Why? You know what? I'm just gonna keep this open then. Final Fantasy. Here it is. Okay. Let's go on. The can is filled with 50% of volume with a beige liquid which resembles acrylic paint. Throughout testing, it was noted that this level does not fall unless the atom is open and inverted. Early testing revealed trace biomass within the liquid. When spread onto a surface as paint, the liquid takes on a slight red tone which fades as it dries. The final dry color is a pale white within the first hour of drying. Treated surfaces will begin to radiate a small amount of heat soon after. Soon after, the surface will become slightly glossy due to the slight secretion of sebaceous oil. Microscopic examination shows structure identical to human epidermis. Aha! This paste is made out of humans. All samples 0.10 millimeter or greater thickness contained all skin between the conified and basal layers, as well as a variable thickness stratum lucidum. Treated surfaces will collect environmental dirt, shed top layers, and are reactive to ultraviolet light by way of melanin production. Honey, I don't know. This white wall. Don't you think it would look nice if it was like a chocolate brown? No problem. Let me just shine this ultraviolet light on it. Give this wall a bit of a tan. You know what I mean? If a treated surface becomes sunburned, the treatment will slouch from its application site wholesale. Although treated surfaces function as skin, no thickness of application have yielded blood samples. I don't know. It's kind of gross to think about that your wall is made out of skin, and it's not like dried like the dry leather type stuff. It's not like leather faces mask or anything like that. Where it's made out of human faces. It's literally just a whole wall that's just has the consistency of your own skin. I don't know. Something about that. And then you can get sunburn, you can slouch, you can get a tan. Although treated, it probably can grow hair. Maybe, who knows. Although treated surfaces function as skin, no thickness makes my skin crawl. Yeah, if it's cold, does it get like the goosebumps? Does it get goosebumps? Although a whole wall getting goosebumps is kind of nasty thinking about it. Although treated surfaces function as skin, no thickness of application have yielded blood samples. Genetic testing has shown the treatment's biomass to be chimeric in nature, containing many different helix samples of a common Anglo-Saxon heritage. The source of SCP-1199's biochemical energy is yet unknown. Researchers know during property testing, a D-class supervised handler was chosen based on previous artistic inclination. D1 managed to create blisters, boils, and calluses while applying the treatment to surfaces. When instructed to teach the skill to a researcher, D1 was able to train the researcher to achieve similar effects. D1 remained attached to the project for terms of life. Wait, so this guy managed to give the wall made out of skin blisters, boils, and callus. Treatment may be removed from surfaces using industrial solvents or by scraping and peeling layers away from a treated area. Peeled layers maintain an elasticity similar to human skin and continue to sweat and generate heat for up to 24 hours. Yeah. It sweats too? Oh god. Stripped surfaces retain no anomalous traits save for a lingering sweet smell. Treatment remaining applied may regenerate sweet and tan nigh indefinitely. Application sample A is still healthy after 3,940 days as of this writing. Initial medical research has shown that the treatment does not graft to human skin, but dries onto it like paint. The treatment will still retain its skin-like traits and forms the secondary epidermis not connected with a central nervous system. Research into medical application as well as possible protection the treatment may offer against inclement environments is ongoing. Liquid remains at a constant viscosity while in its can, research into possible anomalous properties of can pending on hold until conclusion of medical research. Addendum per 05 per 05 blank. By the way, 05 Jade are the overseers. They basically are the big bosses. They make like the final decisions. You have like the researchers, you have the research assistants, the doctors, and the head doctor. And the head doctor is usually the one who decides for the site. But if there is any big decision to be made, they will ask the overseers, the O5s. And O5 are 13 people total, and the reason why 13 is so that whenever they make a decision, there's always going to be like one that has to make the final one. So there's never going to be like a 50-50. So per 05 blank, this could be a boon to testing recoveries that have destructive effects to human physiology. Cross research with other SCP is hereby permitted. And we have finished the 1100. Where is it? I just had it before a moment ago. There it is. Okay. Shit. There we go. All right. And okay, let me put this here. And here is the list. Let me just pull my phone out one more time. Here is the list. All right. Yeah, we did it. We finished 1,100. It took me a bit longer because I had a couple breaks in between. But we've achieved it. We reached that part. Okay, so from top enjoyed to the bottom lesser enjoyed but still enjoyed. I don't know if there's a name for that. Like when you enjoyed all of them, but some of them you. My favorites were Timmy and the Storybook. They're both children. So Room for One, I think, is a scary thought in general. First of all, the idea of being locked in a room for who knows how long, and you have no idea how to get out and something will have to push you to eventually kill another version of yourself, which is, in anybody's right mind, they would never even think about doing that. Is the only way to get out. It's terrifying, because it's a whole new level of like. First of all, if you never killed anybody in your life, it's gonna be your first kill, right? And you always say the first kill like taints your soul. It just makes you. It changes you. But if the first kill is a person that looks, talks, and acts exactly like you, that must be That must be so odd. So either be afraid that you forever. On they likes murders anyway. Well, remember the first couple of experiments. Well, not experiments, but the first couple of things we had were normal people that experienced that. It was regular people that just that went through it until the Foundation found out that, like, I believe it was like the first 3 paragraphs that we read that were normal people, and then by the 4th one it was still a normal person, but then the Foundation was like, oh, now we have information that this exists, and then they came in and tried to take over. But and then it was the D class. So yeah, then it was already like murderers and like people that commit homicides and all that. But as a regular human being, walking in that situation and not knowing what it does and why it does it, and then opening a door and you see yourself talk, and then you end up having to spend time with yourself trying to survive in this room. And after a while, like as we saw with one of the other subjects, food ran out. So like I said, I think if you didn't kill anybody before, and this is gonna be your first kill, it's gonna hit very hard. It's gonna impact you a lot. So that's why I think it's very top for me, because like that implication is very strong. It's like it can be almost considered an irrational fear for certain people, because just of like it will never happen. You will never walk into a room that suddenly closes and never opens, and then you have to spend time with a clone of yourself. That will never happen. But I mean, I say that, but who knows? Yeah, Timmy. I feel awful for Timmy, but there's like so many questions. If Timmy thinks he lives in this house and he's a child, and maybe he is a child in a bird's body, then who the fuck is Timothy? Who is the other child? Just living his life with his parents. I think that Timothy is the devil. I honestly think it's that kind of sense, like a demon-like creature just took over Timmy's life and then just made Timmy into a bird. Just replaced him completely. Buried giant. Sorry, but I think it's hilarious that this giant is like on either. He thinks he's either stuck in the hospital, or he's stuck he's stuck inside a stove, or anywhere. Like as long as like it has an excuse for him not to be able to move, and it's just this guy with this with a 71-kilometer long arm, just calling people, like, "Get me the fuck out of here! What are you waiting for, man?" And you're just there like, "I don't know where you are." I don't know where you are. I don't know what you do. Because it did say in the description that the Foundation only see an arm. They don't see a body attached to it. So wherever the body is. So he did say that there was a cast, right? I wonder and he also said he was stuck in the stove, right? So I wonder if the reason why the Foundation only see the arm is because the arm gets transported. Like, as in, like, the moment the arm gets put into like a place where it gets locked in or like stuck in, it gets transported into the SB Foundation universe, and it just hangs there. But the guy who keeps making phone calls doesn't realize that his arm is being extended to the max. And that it's like just stuck somewhere. Maybe that's what it is. Damaged toy horse. I just had too much fun reading that, just because of the idea of like of a child, just of a girl, just boom, horse, and then just if she's just not careful, the horse just dies. So she just ends up spawning so many horses out of pure grief, and it just gets worse and worse until the parents are just become like the typical like like they're less parents but more like the bros from like movies, like, "My man, you gotta stop. It's not good for you." Flesh tone paint. I think it's just gross, but that's why I think it's a fun one to read, because it's just the idea of the walls being made out of skin is disgusting. It's gross. It's nasty. Gross can be fun, yeah. Especially, I mean, sometimes gross can make you a bit like, ugh. Some recipes are really nasty, and I would just be like, I cannot enjoy this because it's so disgusting as a concept. But sometimes it can also be gross, and you're like, this is fun to read. But it makes it not boring, exactly. Yeah. Child storybook. Yeah, no, it took me a while to realize that the book itself is a child. Or whoever is answering to the person is a child. That's pretty cool. I love that it just criticizes you, like, no, this is boring, this is not fun. But that's basically what the child does, right? In the moment you tell them, I guess the child would love that the book would love any story that is high fantasy, right? The more that's probably what it considers high quality stories, when it's like super fantasy or sci-fi. Chair practice. The chair just wants you to have your best posture. Yeah, of course, best posture. You know, back straight, no slouching. Yep. Gotta keep your back straight. Gotta make sure, otherwise the chair will get aggressive. Universal Simulator, I will say. It's definitely a fun read because of the different people that have a go at it and seeing how they get influenced by this thing differently. It was a bit confusing. Yeah, basically it's like a video game where you create your own universe, right? Where you are the god of that universe. Whatever you decide to do, you can make it happen. But it basically influences you to the extent where you just become addicted to it to such an extent that you don't even want to move away from the computer anymore. And depending on the person, will either think that they just killed a bunch of people and they feel bad, or they want to kill a bunch of people and they feel good about it, and so on and so forth. It's basically, you become so addicted to the game that you will legitimately think that the universe that you're playing is real. And it follows your rules. Criminal Past, as Jade and I discussed, it's one of those ones where like it would be a really sad one if the criminals that touch the branch legitimately think that they are innocent, and then once their memories get back that they are not innocent, that they get like saddened. They're like, oh, I for a moment I was an innocent human being. I could have maybe walked out this whole situation, and now I'm depressed. You know what I mean? And Endless Echo, definitely a very good torture device, I would say. I just pulled it down here because like we had something that was basically sound based in the previous 10 already. It wasn't echo based, but it was definitely sound based. And but I do think it's like, it must be cruel to just even your own breathing, or like imagine you just out of reflex clear your throat, and that's the sound you hear for a long time, just repeatedly. No. Well, guys, we done it. We have finished the 1100s. It started with Gaia's Blood, and it ended with Flesh Tone Paint. Man, my God, what an adventure we had. I would definitely say in general, like this one had a lot of saves. I think they had like the least amount of Ketas compared to the other hundreds I ever read. But yeah, next weekend we'll start with 1200, with the first 10 of the 1200. But before that, of course, this Wednesday, I hope Lexi will be okay. We're gonna play some more Played Up on Wednesday. So if you guys want to join on Wednesday, that would be awesome. Thursday, we're gonna do some more Potionomics. I did say on last Thursday that I'm considering if to finish the challenge, the third challenge on Potionomics, and then play the game off stream, because it gets to the point where like it takes quite a long time for me to like get even one day done on stream. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe now it's like the time where like I should play something else on Thursday and just play this game off stream and just not get it done. And then Friday will be the second stream of Hollow Knight. Since I started that last Friday, I'm very excited to play some more of it. I want to say with confidence, but maybe I'm wrong, that we finished majority of the first area of Hollow Knight. but I might be wrong. There might be a lot more popping up later on. Who knows? And then, like I said, Saturday, Sunday, SCP, and we will start with the 1200. I will check about Friday how that's gonna go, because I'm flying back to Switzerland on Friday, and then I will also have to check how streams in general will go afterwards, after that weekend, because Christmas, and I'm probably not gonna be in the place where my other computer is, so I probably after a while won't be able to stream. But this week, definitely, a bunch of streams will happen. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this stream today. Thank you so much for everybody who joined. Thank you so much for Jade again that you joined for the whole entire thing. For Donkey Punch that you came by. For Alex that you came by, and the other 2 people that are currently watching right now. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a good morning, afternoon, evening, and I see you guys. GG, have a good night. Thank you. Good night, and I wish you all. I just repeat myself, didn't I? Good morning, afternoon, evening. It's what I wish you guys.